So, aloha friends, welcome to what I am calling the first episode of Healing with Pumehana. An operative word being healing, because I know for a fact that, well, maybe not for a fact, I choose to believe that, we're never actually going to be 100% healed. It's a process, and it's something that that's with us, for those who have chosen to believe that this is why we've come to and incarnated in this world and in this lifetime, that we are just, there's a lot that we need to heal in the world, in the collective consciousness, and, ultimately, well, within ourselves, and then ultimately within the collective consciousness. I'm full transparency right now. I'm a little distracted because right across from me is a car that has the license plate 111. So there's that. But like I said, these past few days have been they've definitely been, they've been overwhelming and anxiety ridden. And I'll tell you why. Honestly, I think it's because on Saturday morning, I set the intention to know more. Hi, Stacy. Sorry, I'm only seeing this now. Hi. I set the intention to learn more about nervous system regulation. And it's something that I know that I have been challenged with because of my trauma. And it's not something that I ever really understood. So I literally put it out into the universe and said, I want to know more about nervous system regulation. And so the universe goes, yeah, bitch, here you go. Boom, chaos ensues. I experienced a reality in which things were activated, and I have had and these past few days just this activation with my mom and that relationship, and not now but the activation that my oldest daughter gives me and brings to the table is just, it is at a level 10, right? And they say as an influencer, as a teacher, to teach from your scars, not necessarily from your wounds. But I think it's really important for me to share right now, or just be like hyper authentic of what I'm going through, and two, how I'm choosing to respond to it, because that's all that we can do, right? It's this is how we heal, and it doesn't feel good, but when we're in it, sometimes we just feel like melting into a puddle of our own tears. But I do want to share with you, a little bit of what I'm going through and how I'm choosing to move through it. So, like I said, I am just being triggered left and right. And as uncomfortable as it is, I know that I need to sit in it. I need to sit in what I'm feeling and also name it. So this morning, actually it was my youngest, in which I just said something as simple as, hey, can you go upstairs and get your brush? We need to brush your hair. And she's like, I don't want to. And I'm like, I know you don't want to, but it's something that we need to do. And just prior to that, she has a bit of a cough, and she has a tickle in her throat. And I was like, okay, we have this medicine, you need to drink your medicine. And she's like, I don't want to. And I'm like, I know that you don't want to, but it's something that we need to do because you need to be healthy and this and that. And it's so interesting because I noticed this, and I shared this with my husband, is that everything that my daughters do, I take it personally. And even that even being able to name that and recognize that is kind of a big breakthrough, because up until this point, it's always been like, it's just been, you know, trigger reaction or action reaction. And for me to even take a millisecond of pause to recognize, like, I'm taking it personally. There was that separation and recognition. I think even that was a breakthrough. So at this point, I'm recognizing that that's the fallacy, that there is cloud in my thinking. And I think we don't often do that. Like I said, action, reaction, trigger, reaction. And if you're going through something right now, I highly suggest that you take the time. It's really uncomfortable. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Healing, and this is a slow process, but to really just sit in it, that I am taking this personally. They are doing something, honestly, even as I'm processing it a little bit now, like, they're setting a boundary. They're setting a boundary, and it's really, really painful, because like, I'm trying to be a mom, right? That's all we're doing. We're just trying to be a mom. I'm trying to take care of you. And I know that there's something that you don't want to do it, but mommy is just asking you to do it. So sitting in that uncomfortability of, she's setting a boundary, and it's not that I don't want to respect that boundary, but there's ways to move through it. And I'm kind of struggling with that. That's with my daughters, and that's with that relationship. Now, with the relationship with my mom, it's so interesting, because we need to look at the roles, right? What are the things that are attached to these labels of, like, a mom, my mom? What are the things that I expect from her, right? Consciously and subconsciously. And then how does that make me feel? I don't want to unpack that with you guys right now, but just, I highly suggest that, you know, depending on the relationship that you are in, that is making you feel some type of way, like, look at the expectations that are set. And talking about teaching from your scars, right, rather than your wounds, I'll tell you about an expectation that I had of my dad, and then I was able to kind of transmute that and transform that. In COVID, he was really, really hard on me about, and I hope this, if you feel this is just how I feel like this disclaimer needs to be set. This is how I felt at the time. This is how I feel about my body and what I chose to do. In any case, my dad was really hard on me about, you know, getting the shot. And my husband and I we chose not to. That's not something that we agreed with. It's not something that we wanted to do. And it got to the point where my dad disagreed so much that he started to insult my intelligence and start attacking me, and then throw guilt and shame and money, right? He started to say, like, well, you just wrote yourself out of the will, you know, you're stupid, basically, and you just lost out. I think he said, like, $500,000 or something like that. And I was like, okay, my parents have been divorced. I don't have a very deep relationship with my dad. It's extremely superficial. But I do care about him nonetheless. Now, I was able to separate, like, in real time as I was going through this. I took the roles away. I took the labels away of, you know, this is my father and this is what I expect of him. Like, what kind of father would say this to his little girl, and blah, blah, blah. And I looked at it from a lens of neutrality. And I think that's really, really huge, being able to look at your, this also comes, I think this comes after, you know, looking at the situation from a lens of neutrality. And I was able to say, this is just a man who is scared of losing his daughter, or of losing, his daughter and her family and the people that he loves and cares about, to something that he doesn't have control over. And from there, I was able to have compassion for him in that sense, right? When I was able to see him for what he was, just another human, take the labels away from it, right? And so that's what I would encourage to you. But like I said, that was step 2. I think step 1 is acknowledging what it is that you're feeling. And it's so difficult, right? To sit in the lower level frequency, or even just to like acknowledge it. Like, I'm feeling so scared right now. I'm feeling so scared right now. I feel hurt. I feel scared and alone, and I'm worried. To connect with that and really just sit and acknowledge that is so powerful. And then from there, move on to, okay, feeling the feelings, and then coming back and looking at the situation from a place of neutrality. It is what it is. I used to hate that saying, it is what it is, you know, because it seems dismissive. It really does seem dismissive. And I think all too often we are dismissive of our feelings. Last week, I had a pretty powerful therapy session in which I realized how much I deny of myself for the people that I care about. And in my head, I would see myself actively closing the door on a little girl. I'm just going to breathe through this right now because I'm being hyper vulnerable. But I would see that. That was me denying myself. And I've done it so many times. Denying that little girl what it is she's feeling, what it is she wants, for whatever reason. And I'm personally still exploring that. My therapist was helping me see that it was a form of protection, which I absolutely believe, but at the same time, I think it was just denial and being dismissive. So if that resonates with any of you, you know, just know that I see you and I'm sending love your way, because that's a lot. You know, that's a lot to do. And especially as women, especially as mothers, you know, that's celebrated. You know, being the martyr, or, you know, just giving up of ourselves for the sake of other people. It's a lot. It's a lot. But I think for now, that's what I'm going to leave you with, is that when you're going through the processing phase, when you're going through the triggers and whatnot, when you're feeling activated, oh man, just take a little bit of time. Just start to notice. Start to really tune in and listen to the things that you are feeling and the things that you are saying to yourself. You don't have to do anything about it right now. You don't have to fix it just yet. You just need to acknowledge it. Just acknowledge it. Because they're there. It's the elephant in the room that you carry with you everywhere. And it's going to bleed into all of the different areas of your life. So just, my love, just sit with it. Sit with it, because it's okay. You're okay. You're safe. You are safe within these deep, dark feelings. I do feel like I have to disclose this just for my safety and for your safety, is that I am not a mental health professional. I don't have those kinds of credentials. I'm not giving you advice. I am sharing from my own experiences. So thank you so much for joining me. This has been enlightening and also mortifying, because I'm hyper vulnerable right now. But thank you for joining me on the inaugural episode of Healing with Pumehana. I hope you're taking away something from this, something a little bit about yourself, and something, I don't know, learn a little bit about me too. I think it's all about self-discovery. I think the reason as to why we are here is also for self-discovery and self-transformation. So, sending you so much love and aloha. I will see you next time. Bye, guys.